I left Minnesota in the early 90s, and we did a lot of traveling through Denver and out west, and spent most of the rest of the 90s in Washington and Oregon. And at that time there's a lot of craft brew, the brew pubs were popping up, a lot of these big breweries now were getting their start, and just through our travels got interested in beer, just the community around the beer at these brew pubs and meeting people in all the different styles, and really got into it and started brewing, home brewing in 1995. So that was my original start into brewing, and did sporadically over the years. And then came back to Minnesota in 2000, and then got more serious about it. Got an all-grain system set up, DIY set up. And then once this taproom law came into effect, the Surly Bill years ago, it was time to do that, every home brewer's dream. And we found this great piece of property in this town, New London, and that's what kind of kicked it off. And I was ready to start something and be part of the community and try to spread the word of craft beer and all that around here. People always ask that. We're located right in the river here in a floodplain. Why are we Goat Ridge? My wife's family had a farm place about 10 miles southwest here off the main glacial ridge, and it's an offshoot ridge. And the old timers called it Geiterugen in Norwegian. I probably butchered that, but it translates to goat's back or goat's ridge. And when we moved out to that place in 2004 originally, we bought that place, and that's where we started growing hops, and we grew them under that name. We always refer to that place as the Goat Ridge, as that ridge runs to the west of our farm place. Since a lot of our hops and my beer development happened there, we took that name as a place name when we moved to town and started Goat Ridge Brewing Company. I have a partner in the business who works a lot with the books and the booking of bands, and helps around the brew house when needed. And his name is Kelly Ash, and he works for the University of Minnesota out of Morris. Once I had the plan to start this brewery, he was an acquaintance I ran into at a town festival, and I told him I was starting a brewery, and he just recently moved back to the area. And he was a home brewer, and he said, I can help you wherever I can. And so I brought him into the mix, and after that, business plan, everything started to come together and really took off. So he's been an integral part of what's been happening here too. Creativity of craft beer, I think that's where you kind of separate the huge breweries and the small craft breweries, you know. It's a little more hands-on. American homebrewers have, you know, over the past 20 years have really bent the style guidelines. You know, used to be all these kind of set rules of what styles, what kind of ingredients you had with that, and temperatures and yeast and all this. People ask if you're a scientist or you're an artist, and it's probably somewhere in between. It's just a craftsman. But you're taking these different ingredients, you know, that you've learned over these years, what flavors they produce, and you have a beer in mind, a picture, and picking those ingredients. It's kind of a wide open process now. There's so many different varieties of hops that are producing so many different flavors, and you use hops in so many different ways, in different types of grains, and now people are adding, you know, all kinds of different flavors and herbs and all this, so it's really like a wide open world to create what you want, you know. And I think the craft of it is the small batch thing, you know. We're one of the smallest breweries in the state, and everything's by hand, and you're sweating and you're burning yourself, and you know, it's all part of the process, but that's the craft of it. A small brewery, I think, is definitely over the last, you know, 5 years, 10 years is becoming a huge part of the culture of Minnesota, and not just in Minneapolis and St. Paul. We see it here, and it's amazing to watch it happen, but that's kind of the vision I had when I started this, was to bring community together. We have 2 kids now. I wanted a spot to like help build this community, this little small town that has some uniqueness and some art and some boutiques and these natural resources outside our back door. We wanted to build that community and introduce craft beer and have that be as kind of a catalyst to bringing people together and having conversation and thinking up art projects. And now a lot of art projects come out of here, and a lot of great relationships have been forged. We bring in original music every couple weeks, and there's touring bands and people meeting new people and people becoming friends and being creative. And you know, it's a time for people to come together, and I have never seen an argument in here, you know. It's all good, and it's people meeting people.
My head full of straw. There was a band playing, I remember, celebrating something so far. See the naked moon rising.
We get a lot of comments on our tap room, the uniqueness of it, and the interior, you know, the outside. A lot of it was things that we had over the years of traveling, things that we've collected. My wife has been a big part of the vision of this place with the community and the aesthetics of it. She's got a great eye for that. We wanted something that wasn't commercial and sterile and industrial. A lot of places look kind of the same, you know. We wanted to bring our character and our personality into this place, and I think we've done that. So it's eclectic, and I think it's interesting, and that's what we wanted to be, and that's what we're trying to do with our beers, and everything we do here is be interesting, different, and people can come in and look around and maybe scratch their head a little bit, but go, man, this is kind of cool, you know. And tell a story. That's a big thing. We're trying to tell our story. The community feels like they have ownership in it, and I think that's a big thing. They feel like it's their own place. People come in here and they help us out with things, and they're not even asked. Add things to the place, bring in little relics. It's not my place anymore, it's everyone else's. We're all Goat Ridge. We try to bring in different events for entertainment, try to make it diverse, something that's not in outstate Minnesota in a lot of places. So we bring in original live music. Everyone's got original, they got their own music out. We've had some touring bands that have came from Texas and Colorado, a lot of music, some local acts, Minneapolis and Duluth. So a lot of it's started with the music, and a lot of the other things that we're slowly adding. We're about almost 2 years in now, so we've been adding some different things in the wintertime. We do a trivia night. We started doing open mic, getting more local people interested. We've had some rotating art exhibits in here. We brought in some local vendors, the Creamery by Bruton, some different local artists and craftspeople like that. And we're actually adding on a new space that we'll be able to do some more events like that in the future. We're having a silent film festival at the end of April, and we're going to have a live band from Duluth doing the instrumental for it. And so that new space we have is going to add another dimension to this, so we can continue to build on what we have created now. Why should people come to Goat Ridge? It's a unique space. Our beers, you know, I'd hold them up against anyone's. It's great beer, good people, good music. We're supporting the community. Come out and see Goat Ridge. The brewery's taken me a lot of places in my life. I was at a point in my life where it was time to get away from the 9 to 5 and do something that I had passion for, that I wanted to do. I have 2 small girls, and I wanted to show them that you can do something that you want to be passionate about, support the community, build community, It's instilled confidence, I think, in me and this community, and just seeing this community come together and be a part of it and see like good, positive relationships and experiences happen out of here. So yeah, it's been great, and we're ready to see what's going to happen next, because we'll keep going.
Visit pioneer.org/postcards to catch up on missed episodes and to find out more about your favorite segments. This program on Pioneer Public Television is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. Additional support provided by Mark and Margaret Yakel-Julien in honor of Shalom Hill Farm, a nonprofit rural education retreat center in a beautiful prairie setting near Windham in southwestern Minnesota. ShalomHillFarm.org. The Arrowwood Resort and Conference Center, your ideal choice for Minnesota resorts, offering luxury townhomes, 18 holes of golf, Darling Reflections Spa, Big Splash Water Park, and much more. Alexandria, Minnesota. Explore hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for a great vacation or a place to hold an event. ExploreAlex.com. Tri-State Brain and Spine Institute, with locations in Alexandria, Edina, Crookston, and Maple Grove. Doctors dedicated to evaluating and treating all types of brain and spine problems, no matter how complex.